Hello, welcome to this channel. This might be the first time that you come across this video, but it's fine. I guess you're gonna love it here. So, my confidence is next level. And so, today, this video is for inspirations that if you're someone that is looking for a good story to tell, or like some inspirations to write your novel or a short story or just anything, or even a painting, that you just want certain inspiration, a story maybe, to get your creative works moving. Okay, so this is what the video is for. So it's kind of, I'm not sure if anyone has done this kind of videos, but just so you know that I am a person that have a lot of weird ideas, and I actually love sharing them out. In fact, this is the first video that I would actually, share this kind of visualized creative ideas out, like verbally, like, speaking them out. So if you're interested in other ones, other ideas that I shared, but those are not as, visual or like storytelling. However, I'm quite a diverse person. I'm quite a dynamic person, so I speak on a lot of different things. However, for today, I would like to inspire all of us here, myself included, through storytelling. Okay, so what kind of stories are we going to talk about? Maybe, do you have something in your mind? What is it? Let's see. What do we have here? What kind of keywords can we draw from the internet, okay? Or whoever that is on this channel, or whoever is watching this video right now. What do you have in mind? What are some themes that you like? I see crime, okay? Somebody might be into watching a TV series that is about crimes. Comedy. Who's watching comedy? All right, comedy, crimes. What else comes to my mind? Okay, something about family or home. Family dynamics. You guys have interesting taste. So comedy, crimes, and family dynamics. Let's stick with this. And I also see flowers, a pink Sakura kind of flower. So is it like Japanese or something? Interesting. Okay, so what can we do here? Okay, so let's, we have quite some keywords. Let's bring it into a story. So we have crime. Okay, crime. What was that? Crime, family dynamics, a flower, a pink flower, Sakura. So it's kind of like Japanese. And also, what was the other one? Comedy. Yeah, okay, comedy. Wow. So it's like a comedy and crime together in like a Japanese setting with pink flower, and it's involved in the family dynamics. I don't know what we're getting here, but here's what we are cooking. we have the ingredients now. So, all right, let's start telling the story then. So there is this place is surrounded by water. So this water that this place is surrounded by is very, very, very blue. But the kind of blue, is very otherworldly. The kind of blue is very translucent in a way. It doesn't really shimmer, but it's more like jelly. Okay. Now, so this water, this color blue, is kind of like a pencil color blue, like the one that we used to color those drawings when we were a kid. It's a very solid blue. That is why it is so otherworldly. And it does have a kind of jelly-like feeling to it when we look at it. But does it feel like that? We'll look into that. So this place that's being surrounded by this kind of water is somewhere in the world that is quite isolated. However, in this place, of course, there are people or creatures living in this place. There's one thing very special about them, is that they live in a dynamics that is not the same as us, like humans. They look very much like crocodile skin. Okay, like crocodile skin. Are they genuine people? Like, are they actually even people? Are they even benevolent? We don't know yet, but let's look into it. So, how they live though? Okay, how do they live? Like the family dynamics. How they live though, is that in every of their family, there are two males. Okay, not sure if they're actually human, but there are two males. And how they look, very interestingly, usually for one family, there are two males, okay? It's kind of like a standard form of how a family is formed in such a setting, in this place, surrounded by jelly-like water. So these crocodile-like creatures, their family lives in floating bubbles. But when I say floating bubbles, it doesn't mean that it's transparent, okay? It's more like a milky, gooey kind of thing that wraps them up, okay? When you think of not that of a cocoon though, it's not like a cocoon. It's like a slimy kind of thing, yuck. But it is. However, it is a very protective layer that helps them to thrive. Okay, maybe that's the reason why the water is kind of like jelly. Now that we see it. So now these two males in each family, their roles are very, very interestingly different. One of the males would actually be more masculine, while the other male would be actually more feminine. Okay? Now, it's not that they don't have wives. They do. Most of them, they would have 3 females, okay, in the family, along with the 2 males. So, now, however, the 2 males do play very different roles. The more masculine one would actually take care of the building or operating or say preserving of the house. So these more masculine one would actually stay at home with the females. Whereas for the one that is more feminine, what does he do? He goes out hunting, but it is not actually hunt. It is more of going to work. Okay? So, however, they're both males. Interesting. So, and then what else? Now, we now know kind of the family dynamics, right? The structure of it. What can we see with the Japanese pink flower, Sakura? Oh, okay, interestingly enough, there's a forest nearby where they all live, in the gooey, slimy, milky, kind of white home or houses they all live in. These kind of pink flowers, they are actually very exotic to us looking, exotic looking to us. Although it does seem like Sakura, they actually are, they serve as, they have a very strong purpose in this environment. What this pink flower does is that it actually connects all of them together as a community. It's kind of like a common heartbeat that it links everyone together. Does it make sense? It's like a common thread, okay? But it's presented in the form of pink flowers. So on one of the milky, translucent, kind of gooey, slimy house, there would be many these kind of pink flowers on top of the slimy white houses. However, the houses actually are not like the houses that is like with structure, like what we live in, like this one. Okay, this white gooey thing wraps around them in a very flexible way. So it's kind of like if this is the wall, when I put my hand here, it would actually turn into this shape to embrace me. It is a very sensual, very high technology kind of a house, so to speak. Interesting. And so that is what the pink flower is for. Now, we now know about the family dynamics and we know about the pink flower. What else do we have? Oh, the crimes, the comedy, and also, the Japanese. Here's the thing about the Japanese feature of them, is that they do eat raw fish. However, that's why it's Japanese, like sashimi. Sashimi. These crocodile-looking creatures, they are in fact very benevolent. They are not actually harmful creatures. They are very peaceful. So the food they eat is actually not really fish. The food they eat is simply for enjoyment. They don't actually need to eat to survive. Why? Because they actually absorb all the nutrients that they need from the jelly-like water surrounding where they live. Because the water is very, very nurturing. It might look a little bit chaotic sometimes, because of the waves, but is actually very protective. It's like a fort for them that protect where they live. And in fact, this water that they live with together in harmony is the very basic building materials for their home, for their houses. And so they are very connected with each other. These crocodile-looking beings or creatures, they enjoy being mischievous. That is where the crimes come in. They are very benevolent beings. However, they love playing tricks with each other, like pranking each other, okay? This is what families do, right? Friends and families do. And that is why, in fact, they are actually very humorous. And that's where the comedy comes in. The comedy factor comes in. These crocodile-looking beings, creatures, what they usually prank on each other is that they would pick up little diamonds-looking, little, bobs and stuff in the forest. So these little diamond-looking things are actually bugs, B-U-G. It's kind of like firefly for us, firefly. However, they feel very solid. Okay, they're very solid. They're actually simply minerals. However, they have different colors. Mineral bugs, yes, mineral bugs. So these mineral bugs, they would collect different of them and put in between the scales of the other person that they want to prank on. So why they would do that is because what these kind of mineral bugs would do to their skin is it would make them laugh because it's itchy. But it's a good kind of itchy. It's not like it would cause an allergy, okay? So, and each different type of color, because there are so many different colors of these kind of mineral bugs, like a plethora of colors, okay? And so what they do is that if it's a blue one, like this kind of blue, it would actually produce a different laughing sound out of that being that is being pranked on. And if it's like a pink one, it would have another effect. They would possibly laugh hysterically. Okay, so it is in a way very funny for other, family members to watch, and that is very comedic. So this is what they would do to each other. And in fact, how they live together is very peaceful. And they eat raw things. And that is why the Japanese thing, the sashimi, comes in. But the raw things that they eat, or save just for enjoyment purposes, are actually everything is living in a way, but what they eat is mainly, if we call them, is vegetables for us. So it's very raw. Right, it is very raw, okay? How they would like to make their food. How they like to make their food is actually very interesting. They actually co-create with the ocean, with the water. How they would do that is their cooking place is actually, sometimes they would cook at home, in the milky, gooey, slimy house. Sometimes they would like to go out, with the family to the seaside. It's just how we have a picnic. And so when they cook at home, how would they cook? They would actually have a bowl like this, and within this bowl is actually more of like a light bowl. Like, how should I say it? Like it's composed of light. It's actually not anything material at all. Now this light bowl is what they call as the cooking kit. The cooking kit. This cooking kit, when they think of something that, oh, I actually feel like creating such a dish for myself or for my family, then this understanding within this being would be transferred into their hand, so to speak. But it's not a hand, it's more like a crocodile kind of fingers. So they would like touch that ball here, say the ball, and the ball would rearrange the light particles and form a visual of how it possibly would turn out to be. And so this being, seeing this proposal by the light ball, okay, would then agree or disagree or want to adjust any kind of thing that could make this dish even better to cater to what he or she wants. All right. So what they would do is, if they don't like it, they would then think, how would I want it to be more? And with this also understanding within themselves, they would then, adjust it like this, and the visual would show up. But then how can it come into existence, right? How can it come into place? Well, when they know that this kind of dish is what I want, then what about the taste? Don't worry about the taste. It's going to be great because everything is off balanced. Now, there's where the water comes into place, comes into the playing of this intricate production of the dish. This water that they collect from the sea they usually have a bucket. Well, I call it a bucket. They usually have storage place for the water at each of their houses. So they would have that already and sufficient for their usage all the time, because they use the water very, very frequently, right? For a lot of things, because that is their source of life. So now this little bowl or visual that they already have, right? How are they gonna make this come into existence for their enjoyment, with their families or friends? Is that they would take the water, and put them together with the ball side by side. And as the visual is already very concrete, what I mean by concrete is that this visual is already very, very solidified, as in it's very detailed. And this detailed visual would then find is material matchmaking, is matchmaking particles. The light particles would find the material atoms, and take its place, take its formation. And it's a process. And within this process, those who, good at the cooking, could also adjust the flavor if they want to. What kind of flavors do they use? Sometimes they would take the pollens from the flowers around them, in the forest, because each type of pollen does have a certain flavor differently, just like how our spices and herbs work. Well, sometimes the pollen, it is actually a very, very important part of their cuisine, because there are different bugs keep pollinating and even cross-pollination, and that actually brings in a lot of different flavors over the seasons. In fact, in this place they have 18 seasons in a year, and so with different kind of climates changing, weather changing, seasonal changing, they have different flavors to taste. And so here's a family of crocodile-looking beings having their raw vegetables kind of dinner together that is made up of light particles with water, jelly-like water from the ocean. And what they like doing to each other is to have fun, enjoy each other's company while making fun of each other by placing mineral bugs of different colors to make each other laugh. And how they connect with each other is they feel very embraced by the water, the jelly-like water, as well as the sakura flowers that link them all together as a community. And that's where they find their comfort place while living in the magical forest. I hope you like this little story, and I hope it makes you feel refreshed and also new insights, creative ideas flowing in. And if you like this kind of video, if you feel like it, give it a thumbs up so I know that you like it, and we can talk more about this kind of storytelling things in the future. And thank you for your time, your patience, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.